Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Fool card. This is a very happy-go-lucky kind of energy, you know. This is a fresh start. This is a new beginning. This is a reset and a refresh in your life, okay? And right now, this week feels like a fresh page for you. You don't have to repeat the same thing that you just did, that you just went through. It's not going to be the same thing as yesterday or last week or last month, basically the last season of your life. We don't have to repeat that again. Okay? We can say yes to a different way. This week or this period of time is going to be different. Okay? Clean slate, today's a new day. We're being reborn. Okay? We're hitting the refresh, we're hitting the reset button. Let's put this into a little bit of context. All right, let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. There we've got a 5 of Wands, but a 9 of Cups, the Death card, the Justice card or the Adjustment card, and the High Priestess. We have a Queen of Swords, a 3 of Cups, a 4 of Cups, and a 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords is saying we have to promise not to go back and do that thing again. We have to promise ourselves that we're not going to let that happen again, whatever that was. Okay? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with our little Tibetan prayer wheel right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this reading you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments right below the video. Now, as we look around the room, we see major. Fire, water, and some air. Okay? And some air. So, yeah, I feel that there is something from the past that is ending in your life. But right now we've got this 5 of Wands, right? Strife, conflict, tension, friction. This is you kind of expecting more friction, you know? You've got to channel your frustration right now into constructive action, not drama. Notice where any kind of ego battles are draining your energy. Okay? We're not trying to escalate something. We're not trying to fight anymore. Sometimes this card is about us letting go of the fight. Maybe someone else's energy feels competitive. Okay? And maybe this is a battle that's trying to draw you into it, but the Fool is like, I'm not falling for that again. I'm not doing that again. Let's not have a repeat of that drama that you just went through. Okay? So I think that this card is here to say right now we're avoiding the conflict. We are not going to engage in any drama. We don't have to prove ourselves. We don't have to compete. We don't have to engage. The Fool doesn't have to play that game. In other words, I'm not going to be a fool here. No. We're not going to do it. Okay? Down beneath the surface with the 9 of Cups, you're all about the happiness right now. You're all about the love. You're all about the bliss. You're all about living a life that feels good. You're trying to make your life better. Why would you want to have drama and nonsense and entanglements and fights? No. You're looking to feel good. You want joy, you know. This is the way your path should feel when it is working. I think that you're letting go of that drama, letting go of that nonsense. That was last week's energy. This is quiet joy. You know, this is you growing, this is you healing, this is your stability. This is you wanting to share your good mood with other people. This is you making a wish. And this is you, allowing it to manifest in your life. Your creative energy is very strong. Your sensual energy is very strong, and you're going to enjoy that. You're making this period of time a no-nonsense time. Okay, this is the emotional safety, and this is happiness. This is you realizing that joy is allowed. This feels good, and the path that you're on should feel good. Life doesn't have to be a struggle every moment. Life doesn't have to be a fight or a battle. I think you've been through enough battles. It's time for the good stuff. It's time for joy. Yeah. Time for pleasure. Time for superabundance. Right? The 3-3-3 of cups. It's abundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. Okay? The death card in the background. This is an ending, a release, a transformation. This is the ending. This is the shedding of a skin. This is the old self. Maybe the old, angry, competitive self. Maybe this is the ending of that season or that cycle, or saying like, I don't have to be that person anymore. That chapter is over. We're honoring it. We're not fighting with it. We've outgrown something. It's kind of like saying, I'm not into playing those games anymore. And I don't know who's trying to play games with you. It could be anybody, just generally in life. Like, I'm not that person anymore. You know, I think your behavior is different because you've matured. Like, you've evolved, Taurus, you know. Not everybody has. You're letting go of something that isn't serving your purpose anymore. And I think it's kind of that 5 of Wands, you know, that's that fight energy. And maybe it's about a particular person saying, I don't have to engage with that energy anymore. You're letting go of a habit, maybe a relationship dynamic. Maybe it's a work thing. Maybe it's simply, I'm not going to feed into that competitive energy anymore. Okay? You're not going to, maybe it's kind of saying that you're not going to fight for something that's just not worth fighting for. Yeah. So you're releasing this, and I think the Fool is the brand new version of you that's emerging. You're shedding a skin. You're molting this exoskeleton, and this is the new, soft, delicate you underneath. Yeah. It's ready to just get this, like, I don't have time. I'm getting older. The Death card, right? It's kind of that time, that force of the universe, that steady change of life, the evolution. It's kind of like saying, I'm too old now to get involved in drama. This is Castaneda's Death as the advisor. Death is always 2 steps back and to your left, right? Isn't that what Don Juan said? So in every moment, the Fool is saying, is this fight worth it? You know, if today was my last day on earth, is this how I want to spend my time in this kind of drama? No. I want to spend if it is the last day, I want to spend it in love. I want to spend it, feeling content and happy and joyous and bonding with people and celebrating with people. I don't want to just have a miserable day. Okay? Because joy will compound, just like misery will compound into a 9 of Swords, right? So the Fool is kind of saying, like, look, I'm getting too old to worry about this drama. I'm getting too old to just get in fights, and to get in these entanglements that really aren't doing anything for me. So really, there's a maturity here. And if you haven't read Castaneda, I would highly recommend Carlos Castaneda. The adjustment card at the top here is your ability to be wise and discerning and weigh the options. Do I fight for this thing, or do I just try to enjoy my life? Well, I don't need to fight. Not everything needs you to engage with it and wrestle with it and struggle against it. Some things I'm not going to fight. If it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. You know? And so this is that idea of karma. This is discernment, like I said. And this is about course corrections, rebalancing the situation and just learning to deal with what life is bringing to us. I don't have to fight. Something's, the death card, maybe something's exited your life. Okay, I'm not going to fight against that. I'm not going to fight and wrestle. Very Taoist too, isn't it? When bad things happen, we don't have to lament. We don't have to tear our hair and rend our clothes. We just accept that that's what the universe has brought us. And even if it's grief, and even if it does break our heart, and it's kind of a mature way of looking at it, saying, okay, I'm not going to argue. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to process things. I'm going to allow Spirit to bring me forward through this, but I'm not going to fight against it. Fighting against the death card is swimming against the current of the river. It just doesn't work. I don't think anything bad is happening in your life. I think that maybe something has at some point in your life. And I think you are just stepping into a new, mature energy right now. That's saying, look, bad things have happened to me, and I choose to just accept them and let them go. The things that have happened to us, we've been wronged by the universe, right? Makes us angry. But when we say, no, that happened for me, it happened through me, or it just simply happened, I don't have to be angry about it. I don't have to fight against it. And we can choose to realize that in the end everything's going to balance out. Yeah. And so I feel like it's in a way your acceptance, and that's kind of that's the high priestess too. The high priestess is guiding you, and if you trust that your life is being divinely guided, then you won't really care to stop and fight with anybody or to wrestle against anything because resisting is going to make it worse. You know what I mean? And sometimes the high priestess, as she is guiding you to your best life, guiding you toward your happiness and your bliss, sometimes she's going to rake you over the coals. Sometimes she's going to drag you through the briar patch or, over the river and through the woods. And our resistance is going to make that process more difficult. So this really is kind of a lesson in acceptance and surrendering, but also the choice to live a life that is just more content and more positive and more happy, and not fighting with things that don't deserve our efforts, not resisting the flow of life. See, this is a lot of major arcana energy right here, especially the death card, slow and steady. And so the Fool kind of realizes that time is short. I've got to keep moving. I want to keep going forward toward my destiny, because death is always nipping at your heels, And in that sense, too, the Fool is realizing that wasting time on nonsense and drama and entanglements and petty fights and ego battles is a waste of that precious, limited resource we call time. And the High Priestess is trying to lead you forward toward your best life. It's your intuition telling you that this isn't worth your fight, Taurus. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It's a great way to support the channel here, and I really do appreciate you. Your general energy is the Queen of Swords, that bird's eye view, that objective look at things, kind of taking a step back and really looking at things and seeing what really matters and what really doesn't matter. When you get that bird's eye view and you look down and you see the petty Five of Wands over here trying to instigate fights, you just kind of laugh and you just keep moving, because it's such an insignificant thing. It's not worth the effort, And it's really realizing that in the grand scheme of things, most 5 of Wands energies are not worth it. Now, it is the 5-fingered hand. It is us kind of reaching out, and in this case, I feel like it's you trying to wrestle with life. It's like you've got life by the collar, and it's got you by the collar, and just trying to see who wins. The Death card's going to win every time. The universe will win every time. So I think the Fool is really wise, because the Fool is just like, typical Fool fashion. The Fool is just like, yeah, okay, sure, sure, yeah, whatever. The dude abides, right? Very Big Lebowski is the Fool. And isn't trying to resist, isn't trying to complain about what the universe has brought us today. And again, very Taoist. I think a Taoist is going to look at life, and whatever is going on is going to do our very best to optimize it, but is not going to waste any time lamenting. Time spent lamenting is time we could have spent strategizing or working hard or finding an optimized path or just simply doing something better, something more fun, So this is that objectivity where we're looking at the universe and we're thinking, nothing is happening to me. The universe isn't mad at me. I don't need to take it personally. But what I do need is, I do need boundaries, and I do need communication. I do need strategy. And I need the ability to look at myself from outside of myself and really get an idea of what's important and where I should be focusing my energies. The 3 of Cups is you're focusing your energies on joy. You're celebrating. You're finding strategies. It's Mercury in Cancer. You are asking for what you need, and you're receiving that. You're manifesting joy and beauty and bliss and celebration rather than manifesting misery. What you focus on is what you will receive. What you focus on, the magician knows this, what you focus on will magnify. Focus on negativity, negativity will multiply and magnify in your life. Focus on joy, and guess what? Joy magnifies, it compounds. 333, superabundance. So I think that, that 3 of Swords is you realizing that I can't focus on negativity. And I have to understand, I have to catch myself when I start getting into this negative kind of fight mode. And I start, wrestling with the universe. I have to stop myself and say, wait a minute, nope, I want to focus on joy because I want to manifest more joy. And this is delight, and this is celebration, this is friends, family. This is you with a lot of love to give. And this is you out there showing your appreciation and gratitude to your friends, your family, your pets, your plants, your people. This is literally the live, laugh, love card. Okay? Rather than the cry, lament, and weeping and wailing card. Maybe we could call that 3 of Swords the weeping and wailing card. Weeping, wailing, and woe. This is live, laugh, love. Yeah. And it's a choice, really. It's a choice of what's important to you. And what's the flavor of your life? What do you want it to feel like? So let's go out and let's make more friends. Let's make more love. Let's make more joy and more laughter. Okay. The 4 of Cups is interesting. It sits right in between the 2. Okay. And this, to me, I think is like, there's kind of an emotional safety here. This is a storm cellar type of card. And what we don't want, ultimately, and that's going to be a very significant point with the 3 of Swords too. So don't hate on me yet, because don't worry. The 4 of Cups is us saying that we don't want to have a life that is vanilla. We don't want just a milquetoast, mediocre, boring life where we're in the storm cellar. We're on a boat that is just parked in a really safe harbor. And that's okay. There's no holes in the boat. The boat's not sinking. But there's no party on the boat either. We don't want a flat life of no feeling at all. This is apathy. This is like, I'm scared to feel anything, And I wonder if that 3 of Swords really is that, like, when bad things happen, I'm going to lament. I'm going to cry. Sure. And we're not just going to say, like, bad things happen and I'm just going to be the fool and say, oh, okay, I guess that's my life now, and just smile and get on down the road. No, I feel that it's appropriate emotions at appropriate times. Because the bad thing that we could do, I think, right now is be indifferent. And this is, I think, a mistake with Stoicism or Taoism or anything, where we feel that there's just no emotions being felt. And maybe the Taoists are a little bit more absurd, where they will, in a happy moment, they'll cry, and in a very sad moment, they'll celebrate. So it feels a little reversed, and I think that's intentional. In this case, though, we don't want to be apathetic. We don't want to not feel anything. We don't want to be ice cold. We don't want to be a stone. Okay? So I think that we realize that we're going to get some negative things. You know, we're going to lose people. Well, they're not lost. People don't get lost. They may transition into spirit. We may succumb to injury or illness sometimes, you know. Some unfortunate things may befall us in our journeys here on this planet. And we should feel those emotions, you know, but we shouldn't fight against those events necessarily. You know what I mean? We shouldn't then spend even more energy, because this is going to compound, you know, the grief. If we're in denial of it, or we try to fight against it, or we're begging, or we're pleading, or we're wrestling with the universe and saying, no, it's not going to be true. I think we accept what is true, and we feel how we feel. Okay, because the last thing we want to do is be that boat in that safe harbor that is just not doing anything, scared to feel anything, right? So I think we're feeling the strong feelings here. We're feeling the strong feelings here. And I think that in some ways that Five of Wands is you reaching out and getting to choose which one you're going to reach toward and which one you're going to hold on to. See, we can hold on to grief, and then we'll get or sorrow or heartbreak, and we'll get a Nine of Swords. We can reach out and hold on to joy and love and connection and beauty and bliss, and we'll get superabundance. We'll get a Nine of Cups. So that's kind of the choice that we're facing right now, okay? And I really feel that in your life right now, Taurus, you're reaching this maturity level where you're going to try to let go of grief and sorrow and pain as quickly as possible. I don't want to cling to that. I don't want to identify with that. I want to feel it. I want to let it go. I want to cling to this. I want to cherish the good moments and make more of these. And sometimes bad things will happen, sure, because this is life, you know, and it always will. Well, let's look at the mystery card. Maybe another card of balance, temperance, maybe. Yeah, maybe temperance. Maybe the Hierophant, your superpower card, which would show a growth of maturity in your life right now. So let's see. The Moon. The Moon is interesting because it shows that the future's uncertain. We don't know exactly what we're going to get. But if we're in that Four of Cups, we're not going to go in there and get anything. We're staying out. The future's uncertain, so I'm going to stay in the safe harbor, and I'm not going to feel anything. I'm going to be a stone. I'm going to be just an iced heart, right? But this Moon card is saying I'm being courageous. I'm going into the dark, scary forest. I'm going to go live my life. I'm going to trust in spirit, and I'm going to go into the dark, scary forest, and I'll have joy and I'll have sorrow. But I don't have to cling to sorrow. I can cling to joy instead. The alternative is that we're so scared of life that we stay in the safe harbor. We don't do anything. We never allow ourselves to love. We never allow ourselves to engage with life in any way. We never seek novelty. The Fool is skipping into the dark, scary forest, singing a lullaby, you know, whistling while it's hopping and skipping, dancing into the dark, scary forest. And I think that's the right way to live, you know, if I may be honest with you. But there's courage here because we know we're going to get a mixed bag. And life is scary. The future is scary. The future is a dark doorway. through which we can see nothing but darkness. We don't know what's on that other side. We don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes from now. But we're choosing life. Anyway, we're also choosing the extended reading. Click on the link in the corner, please, or the link in the video description. Taurus, please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.